Yes, welcome to Satsang and meditation, beloved friends from all around the world. I'm happy to be with you here again. And Steve is with me if you have any questions or comments. And I heard that last time you couldn't hear the questions so well when Steve were repeating them, so I will repeat the questions for you. I don't know if any questions about love in the time of COVID-19, which was the topic last time, has kind of brought some thoughts to you or some wonderings. Tonight, just when I was sitting here tuning into us all and the moon cycle, something really profound or deep came to me. You see, yesterday was the dark moon, which means not full moon, but new moon, no moon at all. And with the moon cycles, we are very easy, we accept the new moon, which is no visible moon, and we accept the full moon and every moon in between. In our inner psyche or in our humanness, we are quite divided. We learn from the very beginning about good and bad, about right and wrong, about light and darkness, about beauty and ugliness. And we see that internally and externally. Now, the question here is really, are we at ease with our darkness? Are we at ease that within our personality structure we're not only good, we're also bad? We're not only gentle, we're also angry. We're not only secure, we're also insecure. We're not only... what else? We're not only happy, we're also unhappy. We're not only centered, we're also uncentered. So everything that we find behind the shoulds, what is hidden in the should nots, is also there. And the tendency in our human nature is to repress it, to deny it, to fight against it, to be in inner conflict, which means to be a little bit or massively schizophrenic, divided between good and bad, between right and wrong. And lately it came very strong to me through my life situation that I still have quite some preferences, and I'm sure you too. And naturally we have preferences. We want to have it easy and not difficult, but existence doesn't care. Existence kind of holds us in both. And if we dare to be held in both, then, our jealousy, even if you have worked forever on it and trying not to be jealous, our jealousy is as well held in the awareness or the love that we are, as much as our compassion. And as you remember last time, the few last times we were sharing the Atisha meditation, which probably we're going to share tonight too, because it's such a powerful and very easily understandable meditation to point to that which is spacious enough inside of us to include all polarities. And that is the empty heart, that is pure consciousness, that is awareness, that is God, whatever you call it, that which is limitless and has no form and no shape and no name and no objective qualities in itself. And yet this is when we peel the onion of personality to the very core, there is nothing left, or everything left. Now, with nothing left, we don't need to deny anything anymore. And then with everything left, a new topic arises. And what could that be? You see, we are infinite consciousness born into this body-mind, born into a certain preconceived structure through our parents, through our childhood, through our upbringing. But then there is a lot of other elements that are dormant in us, that are waiting to flower. I call that our essential qualities. And we all have incredible gifts and qualities that we often miss because we compare ourselves with others that have some qualities that we think we don't have, or that are better than us, or the whole comparison, competition, judgment game, which keeps us in schizophrenia. But what is it really that holds us back? I think last time we talked about the fear that the COVID-19 is spreading around the world, and the media are really like hyenas, biting every single piece of the COVID-19 story and make it more horrible and create more and more fear. And we talked about the fear of dying, the fear of the ego. And Steve and I had a little talk after the last satsang, and somehow what came is that another deepest fear we really have is the fear of living, is the fear of shining, is the fear of being much, much bigger than our belief system. It's the fear of coming out of the hiding behind the fear of other people's opinions, hiding behind the fear of not being loved if I behave differently, hiding behind the conformism to your friends, to society, to the people around you, hiding behind your thoughts, my God, if I behave like this, what will people think of me? What will my friend think of me? What will my co-workers, my boss, the people that I feel more or less dependent on think of me? And then we are just so afraid of rejection, which we have experienced enough in childhood. And our focus, which is where our energy flows, then focuses on all the problems why we cannot live what we actually want to live. And here I would suggest this is a good time, especially when you're in isolation, especially when you're in a retreat at home, especially when you cannot go to work, especially when you cannot be all the time busy with something that occupies you, that concerns your day-to-day life. Maybe you start putting your attention on that which is deeper, that which is like the bud in a rose that knows it's flowering, even though it may not have flowered yet, but it knows deep down, this is what I want to live. And to energize that so that life becomes more unpredictable. It's already now obviously totally unpredictable. And that is kind of fueling a possibility to make it more unpredictable. The invitation here is to take risks. Risks that take you out of the comfort zone into aliveness, into outrageousness, into breaking the rules. Not the legal rules, breaking your own rules, your own, little box that you feel safe in. And break the windows open, break the doors open, and run out and jump into the ocean and take the wave, take a bigger wave that you ever took, and see where it takes you. Because the more total you live, the more every moment is a bonus, and you have lived completely. And then when death knocks at the door, it will be, I don't know, I hope that for me, and I think it will be the absolute crescendo. It will be the biggest wave, the biggest jump into the unknown when the body leaves you, when the body leaves me. As we get older, I don't know, I don't feel very old, but obviously body age is old enough to kind of see that there is an end in sight. Who knows when, but then the question comes, have I lived enough? Have I loved enough? Have I burned the candle of life from both ends? Have I, celebrated life? Have I settled into mediocrity, or have I excelled my own expectations about myself? So that's kind of something to ponder for you, or to explore for you tonight, maybe also in the meditation. And that includes that you don't have to always be a goody-goody. It includes that you make mistakes. It includes that you fail. It includes that you fall off the cliff and then you have to climb back up. It includes all these things that the mind considers unsafe and insecure. And this is kind of my message to all the lovers specifically, because very often in relationship I hear, I don't feel safe. And I always hear, well, if I don't feel safe, it's not the right relationship. Well, maybe then it is the right relationship, because if you don't feel safe, you have to be present. And love only flowers in presence, not in safety, not in a safe box where all your fears are kind of held in chess and in a little box and you don't need to face them. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, because it is in society it is so much asked for. And I'm not saying to be with somebody that kind of is violent to you or is abusive to you or doesn't respect you. It is more that you dare to feel you don't know what's going to happen the next moment, so you are forced to be in this moment. And this moment is, I said it a few times, but we keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. This moment can never be known. This moment is the unknown. Can I be here in the unknown, rather than going back to my old defenses and my old sense of security? Can I shake like in the Kundalini meditation? Can I feel transparent? Can I feel vulnerable? Can I dare to, to feel hurt when something hurts me, without shying away, without calling myself a victim, without doing all the strategic things not to feel the hurt. And then, of course, can I allow the joy? Can I find that which sustains me from within when all the other things, the outer things, fall away? So many outer things are falling away in this time of the COVID-19 virus. It's amazing. And it's an amazing possibility. And to touch the seed of our essential qualities that are waiting to be alive, meditation is really one of the best things. You see, last time I talked about love and lovemaking, and after a good lovemaking, there may be a moment of total relaxation, of total nothingness. There may be a moment where you fall asleep, or your partner falls asleep. And the ego is very afraid of that, because it's the natural return to no-thingness. And if we dare to rest there, if we dare to disappear, and then we wake up again and the energy comes back completely fresh and unknown and unexpected. And can we allow the spontaneous movement of that unexpected energy without condemning it or judging it in the partner or in yourself, without being predictable, and then without, freaking out about it. This is for the relationship friends here. You see, so many relationships are in deep crisis because people sit on top of each other in their house and they cannot go out. So there are many relationship problems, but they're only problems if we are not present and willing to allow ourselves to be who we are, and in that same time allow our beloved to be who she or he is. Now, it sounds nice, it sounds simple, but it's very challenging. But it's very beautiful also. Are there any questions so far? No? So if for now there are no questions, I think we're going to just sit for a while. We just have a beautiful meditation. If the words that I shared with you help, allow them to guide you in. Otherwise, let them just through. You don't need to hold them or believe anything of what I say. It's more like a pointing. And since we are all, in a way, the same, we're all in the same existence, we're all the same infinite, spacious awareness behind our story. So we don't need to kind of be superior or inferior, or I know more and you know less, or you know more and I know less. We're all in the same boat. And that's the beauty. We can just melt within. And for the friends who may be for the first time with me here, when I share a meditation or when we move into meditation, it's not moving somewhere, it's not going somewhere. It is just a space of allowing everything to be as it is. Allowing every sensory experience to be what it is. allowing every physical experience to be what it is, allowing every thought to be what it is. And in that allowing, we just, you could say, we order the body to stay still. We don't react to any impulse. We just allow any impulse to be, any thought, any feeling, any body sensation, any smell, any taste, any sense. So in the first part of the meditation, I will not guide us, we will just sit silently, allowing everything to be. So we go in, we go deep, and then we surface back, and perhaps there will be more words, or perhaps there may be a question that has come up that we can address. And then we have the Atisha meditation to go even a little bit deeper. Okay? So now, just sit comfortably with your spine upright, relaxed, open, not looking for anything in the future, just allowing every experience to be what it is now. And that naturally awakens the watcher, the watching consciousness, that which is aware of all experience. And that's who we are. So close your eyes. And just be here. Feel that depth of silence. Feel that peace, that space behind all events, behind all experiences, behind all objects and content. It's such a mystery. It's always here. The being is always here. In this moment, we are so deeply connected, all of us here. In this invisible field. And gently you can take a deeper breath. It's almost like we are surfacing from the depths of the ocean, coming to the surface, becoming aware of the body, taking a few deeper breaths. And here we can already sense that we come back from no thing into a new something, a new body, a new thought, a new feeling, a new moment, a new expression of life that has never been here before. And another breath and a good stretch until you find a good moment to open your eyes to this moment. I don't know about you, but I went quite deep. Without doing anything. If we understand that in the inner world we don't need to look for anything in the future, anything later. The ego cannot live without later. The ego is kind of always interested in a better next moment and avoids this moment. And here, in meditation, we are just here now. The eternal now. Time disappears. Now, as we're kind of taking a breath into this moment, into this fresh new body, if there's anything you want to share or any question that came up for you also during the meditation, this could be a good moment to share or to ask or to inquire or to investigate. Now, I'm not sure if our recording still works or not, but it looks like. So please feel free to write any comment or any question or anything that you feel you would be interested in, that we can somehow deepen through inquiry or through words. I feel the time we share without words is so precious, no? So simple and yet so profound. If we just remember the beauty of meditation in day-to-day life, that sometimes we just stop and be here, and everything falls in place. With the new moon outside, with the dark moon outside, with the deep, deep dark night. Here, at least in Australia, it's already night. Suddenly all the stars are more visible. So in deep darkness, whatever has been hiding is kind of surfacing from a depth. There seems to be a question or a comment.
It's a question from Aline.
A question from Aline.
She says, my mind flows everywhere, so disturbed.
My mind flows everywhere, so disturbed.
That's the question.
Okay. It's an interesting statement. Now, what is disturbed? It can only be the mind that expects something else, that the thought shouldn't be there. Who or what is disturbed? It is only what is disturbed is only the mind. It is only the idea that we have about what should happen and what should not happen. But for you, dear Aline, to even write that comment, there must be an awareness, there must be a space that is aware of the disturbing mind. Now, this is a very good moment. If you like, you can explore that which is aware of the mind. And really, we're not trying to put sugar over something that is not sugary, but if you really investigate what in you is aware of the disturbance, And you're bound to see that that which is aware is not disturbed at all. It's not a thing. It is not something that you can undisturb or disturb. The moment we become antagonistic against any experience, and specifically mind or thoughts, then these things, thought is also a thing, become louder, because whatever we resist persists. Now, that which is aware of mind, of thought, is undisturbed. Check this, don't believe me. I'm reminded of this beautiful poem from Sogyal Rinpoche, who is the author of the Tibetan book of dying. Actually, it's not. He wrote a beautiful comment on the ancient scripture of the Tibetan book of death. And his poem goes like this: rest in great natural peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara, rest. To find that rest. So there's mind, there's the ocean, there's a pounding of thoughts, and that which is aware. It is just that our attention hardly ever goes to that which is aware because it's not a thing. Wherever our attention goes is where our energy flows, and we have such a habit to give our energy to things that come and go, like thoughts. And just behind the thoughts, what happens if we bring our attention to that which is undefinable? Then our energy flows into that which is always here, which is peace. Peace within the disturbance. Does it make any sense? And I'm not trying to convince you, and I'm not trying to, get rid of disturbance. Disturbance is appearing, just like a cloud appears. It's the peace that you are disturbed. It's the deep love that you are disturbed. It's the infinite sky disturbed by a shooting star. Check. Yes, we forget. I do forget during the day sometimes. I do get identified. I do get irritated. I do get disturbed. And when I notice that I get disturbed and I wake up, it gives me a new moment to see, wait a minute. There's a ripple on the surface of the ocean, a wave, and I temporarily have identified with the wave and have forgotten that the ocean is always here. And then we remember. We rest in that natural great peace. Can you rest here? The moment we rest here, we see that every thought, every feeling, positive, negative, light, dark, is held in the infinity of who you are. And then we become more tender. Be tender with your disturbance. Hold it gently. It is already held. Hold it consciously. Hold it with such a deep, intimate love as you hold your closest lover. Be gentle. Sometimes our mind is so harsh, because our upbringing was harsh. Be tender. And you see that what you've been looking for, in the hope that the disturbance is gone, is within the disturbance. You know, and I'm really grateful for these little comments or questions, because I recognize myself in everyone, in everything, in every human expression and experience. So, by allowing the answer to you, I'm allowing the answer to me. It's like a remembering. Is there anybody else who wants to share something or comment, or is interested in a certain aspect of life that touches you in the moment? And you know, it's in a way it's beautiful, because those of you who are with me right now, we're all sharing a space that is a lot deeper than words. So words are almost an effort, and yet they are also a bridge. They are a bridge to point us into our inner depth, into the dark moon, into that which is infinite, points us into the inner cave of darkness. Yes.
Comment.
There's a comment.
From Jai Ping Lee.
From Jai Ping Lee. Hello, Jai Ping Lee.
She says, I love the all-oneness, very profound.
Yes, I think we are, at least those of you who are still listening and didn't escape that which could be very boring for the mind. There is only all oneness. And the moment, of course, we give it a name, it's a lie. Because the lie kind of postulates, if there's all one, there must have been some things that were separate. So, you know, you're of course familiar with the Tao, because of your name sounds kind of more Eastern or Chinese or Taiwanese, I don't know. And the all oneness in the East is called the Tao. And like Lao Tzu says so beautifully, the Tao that can be named or spoken is not the Tao. It's only a faint echo of it. So that's the beauty. We're trying to speak the impossible. But we have the same love affair. I'm also in love with the all oneness. Yes.
Sajad Gunter Zwaka.
Sajad. Hi, Sajad.
He says, I like to watch movies, but my focus is more on the movie than on the screen. How to withdraw to the screen.
Is there a how to, or is it just a remembering? Latest, you remember when the movie is finished, right? When the movie is over, then you remember, oh my God, nothing happened. It was just light and shadow on an empty screen. So, did you enjoy the movie? Did you enjoy the entertainment? And then when it stops, then it gets interesting. Are you looking for the next entertainment? Or are you having that gentle smile in your heart? Oh, I was drawn into a story that appeared on an empty screen. The moment you remember that, nothing is lost. I like sometimes movies. I like sometimes to kind of get partially or fully identified with the main actor, and or with some of the actors, and then you get drawn into the story. There's nothing wrong in it. The moment you ask how to, you're asking for something better than what is. You're asking for a technique to get somewhere where your spiritual mind believes that somewhere, which means to be aware of the screen, is better than to be identified with the movie. And in reality, whether you are identified or whether you remember the screen, that which you are has never changed. I don't know if that makes sense to you. It's like the awakening is not later, it's not in the how to. There's so many endless posts and movies and YouTubes and seminars and online seminars, and they are all how to. Well, how to implies there is a goal somewhere in the future that is not here now. And yet here now is the only reality ever. In this very moment, do we need a how to? Do we need a technique? Do we need a strategy? Do we need a becoming? Do we need a goal? Everything in our society and in our upbringing denies the moment and thinks the next moment is better than this one. So you, dear friend, you're thinking that when you're aware of the empty screen, you will be a more spiritual person than when you are identified with the movie. Right? Wonderful. I'm happy you get a sense of this. No? So the awakening is right within this moment, which means when your mind moves into how to, you can call him back like a stray dog and say, come here, be here. There's nowhere to go, you're already here. Does it make sense? Thank you. It's a wonderful question because we're all caught into how to. And when I talk about it, it doesn't mean how to is bad. It just means it takes us away from actually that which is already here. And that which is already here is what everybody is seeking. That's the paradox. Yes, there's one more question or comment.
Paul Baldwin.
Hi, Paul.
I'll repeat the question. Can you speak of the heart as a separate entity to that of the soul or mind?
The question is, can you speak of the heart as a separate entity and
to that of the soul,
to that of the soul or mind? Wow. Okay. In a moment we're going to have the Atisha Heart Meditation, and probably that will be the best answer that I can give you in that. As we explore our interiority behind all experience, what do we find? And this is, of course, only when I talk about it, it's only a concept, but the concept points to the reality. Now, if you're a heart-oriented person and you go deep into the heart, you find what in Zen is called the empty heart. And what Ramana Maharshi called, heart is your name, or God. So you find God. What is God? God is space. You find heart. What is the heart in its essence? Space, like the inner sky. You find awareness. What is awareness in essence? It is empty. It's space. You find consciousness. What is consciousness pointing towards? An infinite, limitless space. What is soul pointing to? And there it becomes interesting. The concept of soul believes that there is a separate individual entity that stays alive when the body goes, for example. Now, what is staying alive when the body goes? Is there a separate entity, or is there just space? Now, I don't know for sure because my body is still here, so the body hasn't left me. But my understanding is that all these names that we give the unnameable depend on how we have been conditioned spiritually. Because in reality, space, consciousness, awareness, existence, the divine, the all-oneness, the soul, the empty heart, the Tao, Allah, God, they're all the same. No thingness. It reminds me of a beautiful book. Osho has spoken 600 books. So he in a way talked about everything 1,000 times. And one of the books he called The 99 Names of Nothingness. When he was talking about the Sufis, because Allah, in the Sufi tradition or in the Muslim religion, has 100 names, and 99 names are known as attributes of the divine. and the 100th name is unknown. Well, it points that the 99 names all point toward nothingness, and the 100th name has never been able to be named, so nobody ever could label it or give it a name. Now there's a beautiful humoristic twist to this, because there's one being that knows Allah's 100th name, and that is the camel. And why the camel? Because the camel kind of has this little bit of an arrogant look. I know. But the camel has never said it. So it's not a very clear answer I give you, because the infinity, the unnameable, contains everything, but it's nothing. And specifically, also what we call soul is not an object. It is all a pointer towards the mysterious infinite that is who we are. That's my humble interpretation. And I love that fact that it can never be known. So in a way, I would suggest befriend the unknown. And the unknown is this moment. This moment you can never know. We can live it. We are living it, but it can never be known. The moment we know it, it's dead, it's past, it's finished. And our ego structure, every ego structure is so afraid of the unknown. Because when we allow the unknown, when we allow this moment, the separate I that thinks it knows doesn't exist. So I don't exist. Does it make sense? Yes, I think we're ready for Atisha. For the friends who are new tonight with me, just a short introduction. Atisha is an ancient Tibetan master, and basically he has recognized his true own being as infinite space, and yet he woke up through 3 different teachers. So he woke up 3 times, he got enlightened 3 times, which is a beautiful story in itself. You can maybe read it. And one of the masters, he had 3 masters, a master of love, a master of devotion, and a master of awareness. And the master of love made him discover the essence of the heart, which is pure space, and the transformational power of the heart. The transformational power of the empty heart. And I want to guide us tonight into Atisha's heart transformation, because this is actually an ancient Dokten technique that many Buddhist monks practice every day. That's why the earth and the world is not completely gone to the dogs yet, because everything in this universe has the possibility to transform back into its essential quality. And what is our essential quality in the nature of all things? It is space, like the infinite sky. It is love. It is peace. It is silence. It is all oneness. In India they call it Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, bliss, or Satyam Shivam Sundaram, wisdom, godliness and beauty. There are all these expressions pointing towards actually no thing. So, shall we try this? If you could close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Allow your whole attention to be in the now. And one of the ways to easily be in the now is to bring our attention to our sensory experiences. So feel your body sitting here. Feel the support of the cushion. Feel all the body sensations that may be here. Feel your feet on the ground or on the cushion. Feel the body breathing. Maybe you even feel your heartbeat, your breath, the blood circulating. And with feeling we can include the auditory sense. We can hear all the sounds in the room outside. Here in the moment there are these night animals making gentle sounds. Become aware of your inner vision. Maybe you have some pictures as you close the eyes. You see something in front of your inner eye. Maybe you have a certain fragrance in your nostrils or a certain taste on your tongue. So let all the senses guide you into now. And from here, we can bring our attention to the center of the chest, to your heart. You may even want to put one or two hands into the middle of your chest on your heart and feel your heart. And one of the ways to kind of feel into the qualities of the heart is to remember a very loving or touching moment where your heart felt touched or moved. The heart seems to be the energy center where things come together, where we can experience love through this body. When we meet a heartfelt person, there's this kind of immeasurable field of energy that can be actually scientifically verified as an energy field of the heart. And we can feel when we come into a heart space like now. Perhaps you feel all these invisible friends that are joining us for this satsang around the world, and we feel connected, we feel loving, we feel open. So these are more the outer layers of the heart. And now you can allow these sensations with each in-breath to expand in your heart. And then in each out-breath, imagine you can enter, you can melt through these experiences, through these feelings, deeper into the heart. In each out-breath, each in-breath an expansion of the experience of this moment. Each out-breath a letting go deeper inside, and you can use your imagination for that. If you like, you can imagine the heart as not just an object or a substance, but an opening. And in the out-breath, we can let go into this opening. So with each in-breath, we are expanding. With each out-breath, we are melting deeper inside. And in that melting, we melt deeper than thoughts. And of course, the thoughts can continue. We melt deeper than feelings, and all feelings can continue. And yet, we, consciousness, space, is deeper than that. We melt deeper than the body sensations, and deeper than the breath, and deeper than the heartbeat, and deeper than all experience. Now, who or what am I deeper than all experience? The mind can only say there is no thing, there's nothing, there's just space, empty sky. And that recognition that every meditator has come across can then be used for a deep healing of the limited body-mind. And this is what Atisha is pointing towards. We can allow, riding on the in-breath, all our suffering that we are aware of. We can breathe it into the heart, tenderly allowing it to flow through the heart, through that opening, and dissolve in the empty sky beyond all experience. And then the out-breath can carry the blessings of peace, of healing, of silence, of love, back into the body-mind. You can try this. Like many people in the moment are caught in fear. So let's try this with fear. Just tune into any fear you may have. And the fear shrinks your body, and it shrinks your system, and makes you tremble. And instead of rejecting fear, allow it to be invited in the in-breath, riding on the in-breath. Enter the heart, receive it in the heart. Let it flow through the heart. And in the empty sky, it all dissolves, just like clouds dissolve on a sunny day. And the out-breath can carry the blessings of peace, of healing, of love, of beauty, of wisdom, of clarity, to flow back into the body-mind. Actually feel how they flow into all these corners and regions that were occupied by fear. This is the amazing transformational power of the empty heart. So any suffering, any guilt, any shame, any unworthiness, any envy or jealousy, any sense of not being good enough, allow it to ride on the in-breath. Welcome it. in the heart, in that space. Let it flow through the heart and dissolve in the inner emptiness. Just like even the darkest cloud dissolves on a sunny day. And the out-breath can carry the blessings of peace, of healing, of love, of oneness back into the body-mind. And you will find it's naturally, our suffering naturally shifts. And we will actually experience that fear becomes love. Anger, let's try it with anger. Anger and this inner pain of being hurt, where anger covers the hurt. Let it ride on the in-breath. Invite the anger and the hurt underneath. Let it flow through the heart and dissolve in the inner sky. And then the out-breath can carry the blessings of life, of vitality, of peace, of passion back into the body-mind. Breathing in suffering. Breathing out blessings. And we find that anger turns into vitality, into passion. We will find fear turns into love. We will find envy turns into compassion. Not because we try it, not because we want to be a goody-goody, just because we allow space for all these unwanted experiences to be welcomed in the heart and beyond the heart in its emptiness. So one more time, breathing in all your suffering, flow through the heart, dissolve in emptiness, and breathing out the blessings of love, of peace, of Satchitananda, of Satyam Shivam Sundaram, back into the body-mind. Now, when we are more and more familiar with the transformational power of the heart, of the empty heart, we can extend the heart to friends and family, to people close to us. So if you're aware of anyone around you that is close to you or befriended, if there's anyone suffering in pain, in agony, in fear, in desperation, in struggle, invite their suffering into your heart. Our heart is big enough to transform any suffering. Let it ride on the in-breath, flow through your heart, and dissolve in the inner sky. And the out-breath can carry the blessings of peace, of healing, of silence, of tenderness, of care, back to the friends and family. Breathing in suffering, breathing out blessings. And you can invite anyone that is near you, any struggle, any grief, any sorrow, any pain, any hurt, any misunderstanding. Open up your heart, let it flow into your heart, and you don't need to hold it here. Sometimes empathic people hold it in their own system, not needed. Let it flow through the heart into the empty sky and let it dissolve here. It's nothing you need to do, it happens automatically. And just the out-breath can carry the blessings of healing, of peace, of silence, of love, back to your friends and family. And as we have a glimpse of the infinite heart, the empty sky within, if we feel ready, we can extend the heart to all beings. In this crazy time with the COVID-19, there is so much disturbance, so much fear, so much insecurity, so much anxiety. Let the suffering of all beings be like a stream entering your heart, flowing through the heart and evaporating in the empty inner sky. Just like even the darkest storm clouds dissolve on a sunny day. And the out-breath, carrying the blessings of peace, of healing, of love, of the recognition of our deep connectedness, and of feeling of all sicknesses, back to all beings. Breathing in that stream of suffering and just let it flow through to dissolve in emptiness. Breathing out blessings, love, peace, healing. And with that, offering your blessings to all beings, that may all beings be free of fear. May all beings be free of pain and suffering. May all beings remember themselves as love and peace. And may this wonderful earth flower into a new consciousness where all beings feel held and reminded of who they truly are, and contribute to healing not just of other people but of the whole planet Earth. May all beings be happy, may all beings be at peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And from the depths inside, we can take a deeper breath. Gently become aware of this body again. Even the inner space is infinite and empty. There's still a body that contains it all. And maybe you want to give this body a little stretch, moving your hands or your feet or both. A few deep breaths back into right this moment until you feel ready to open your eyes to a completely new moment here. Now, if it feels appropriate, you may want to sit a little bit by yourself at the end of the satsang and meditation. And be well. And we see each other latest next Friday evening. If you want, if you somehow connect with Atisha's meditation, I would recommend play it again and do it every day. It's very needed around the world, and it's needed for your own well-being, because it naturally lifts us out of the general survival mode that runs the unconscious in the first 3 chakras. Yeah, the survival of the body in the first chakra, and the anxiety about no job, no material goods, it's very strong. And the anxiety around the emotional instability and the hurts in the second body, the feeling body. And all these strategies that we use for defenses, which create all these stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and so on, that are actually lowering the immune system. And when we do the Atisha meditation, you bring naturally all the energy, it gets refined in the heart and releases completely different hormones, the well-being hormones, more oxytocin, vasopressin, and many more that strengthen the immune system. So the more you are in your heart and connected to compassion, love, the more your immune system is ready to keep you healthy. Thank you so much for today. I wish you a very beautiful rest of the day. Here it's evening, but I think in Europe it's kind of midday. So be well and love you all. Many blessings. Namaste.